Good morning. Ciao, Tiki. We'll be back soon.
Ciao, Tiki.
But today we're taking you along for one of our walking adventures. We're just going into town here and we're going to go for a little walk down the beach. It's Monday, so hopefully it's not too busy today. We usually try and avoid the beaches on Saturday and Sunday.
Early Monday.
Early Monday, yeah. We like to get up about 7 o'clock and get out before the crowds are on the street. So that is where we are on our way right now. I know. We've been gone for 3 weeks, you're thinking, what the hell's going on? But yeah, we just need to take a little bit of time to ourselves, just the three of us, and kind of settle down for a while. It's been a busy past few months since December. Little Ricci was born, and we've had family and friends and tons of people just coming to visit, so it was a non-stop barrage.
Yeah.
And you know, just always something going on, lots of different crew on board. We had a few patrons here, so lots of visitors keeping us busy. Yeah, we decided it's time to get back, so we put a camera in our hand again today and thought we'd go for a little journey.
Yeah.
But we do have a bit of sad news, unfortunately. So we just heard yesterday, one of our good friends here on the island, Julian.
Our agent.
He's our agent for the island, and his wife passed away in the hospital over the weekend, so it's very sad news. We're very sorry to hear this, Julian. Our deepest condolences to all your family, everybody. We hope you'll be okay. We know it's going to be a struggle, you know, but we're here for you anytime you need, okay? So you just let us know, come knocking. We'll be there.
Yeah, without you, we don't leave the island, don't worry.
No, this is true. Now, Julian's done a lot for us over the years, and he's had his hands full the last little while because I think Odette has been not feeling well for a while and in and out of the hospital, so he's been distracted, we understand that. But we hope things will improve for you, Julian. Sorry to hear about Odette.
Yeah, we are close to you.
And unfortunately, our lovely island of San Andres lost a very popular singer a couple of weeks ago, who is also a friend of our good friend Danny.
Yeah, very popular.
Danny kind of disappeared for a few weeks, and we understand that as well. Danny was not feeling well, but it's an unfortunate situation. It's a bunch of dumb kids playing with guns and shooting at each other, and this friend of Danny's, the musician, got caught in the crossfire. He was shot and trying to recover in the hospital, but didn't make it, unfortunately. And that is Hetty, a good friend of Daniel Pera. And Danny spent the last couple weeks
To make a beautiful homage.
Yeah,
to him.
Danny spent, he disappeared for a couple of weeks and just made a beautiful tribute to Hetty. And I think I'm going to play that for you guys here. I think it should be okay. Hopefully the music is okay, but it was a very nice piece that Danny did. So it's only a couple of minutes long, but I'll play that for you guys. And you can get a feel for who this gentleman was on the island, because he had a big procession on up to his funeral, leading up to and of course on his funeral. So a tribute to Hetty.
Hetty, don't cry no more, don't cry no more. I remember when you used to say mine a be strong. Hetty, don't cry no more, don't cry no more. You're my guide, you're my strength, you're my friend, don't leave me alone. Damn, why? That is the question. The world go round, it's changed from direction. Why? My brother has to die when I need you, went to see me like a star. Fly, Hetty, fly. You are in the best place, no, don't cry. No pain, no sorrows, no suffering. So Hetty, I will always sing.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
I still remember the day you lift me up. I still
Fabián Pérez, mi hermano, te llevamos en el corazón.
when we're cheers and with 2 cups. I still remember when I hugging you, my bro. I still remember the happiness of your heart. Listen, yo, Hetty, you was unique, only one. So how I will forget you? I can get you over my mind. You was my teacher, the king, practically everything. You give me strength to play, you give me strength to sing. It's so hard to say, but it's the reality of life. You gone from earth, but not from my mind. Don't cry, Hetty, you're still alive. I'm feeling you, we are in the sky. I will meet you some days when my days is over. I don't know if it's hard and I can't get over. Wow, I start to feel in the pain, loneliness, I am not the same. I am trying my best, you live in my mind, you're the king, you was the best. You keep in my mind, Hetty, I know you went to rest. Hetty, don't cry no more, don't cry no more. I remember when you used to say mine a be strong. Hetty, don't cry no more, don't cry no more. You're my guide, you're my strength, you're my friend, don't leave me alone. Hetty, don't cry no more, don't cry no more. I remember when you used to say mine a be strong. Hetty, don't cry no more, don't cry no more. You're my guide, you're my strength, you're my friend, don't leave me alone.
So beautiful tribute, Danny. I'm sure Hetty will be smiling wherever he is, and we hope that San Andres recovers from the loss of this talented musician.
And now the sophisticated lady news. Some improvement in our journey.
Yeah, let's get back to some positive news about Sophisticated Lady. I'm sure that's what you guys have all been waiting for. Yeah, as you guys will remember, the last video that we put out was all about the engine discussions and starting the topics about diesel, electric, anything like that. phenomenal responses. Thank you so much for all your input on that, guys. We just loved hearing from so many of you, so many different opinions, and the comments were great. We read all of them and very much appreciated. And we do have an update coming up very soon. I'm just waiting. We're going to do that in a different episode. Today we're just going to keep it light, have a little bit of fun. You know, we're just out on the island because we needed something, a little bit of a break from everything as well. If you remember, just before then my parents had arrived, so we've been hanging out with my parents and doing some very fun stuff. We took them out for a couple of expeditions around the island. My parents wanted to experience something a little bit more on the traditional side of the island, so a little bit of the culture, the history and things like that. So we rented a couple of cool cars and went for a little excursion around the island to visit some of the places that you guys probably haven't seen before, but they've got a little house on the other side of the island that they call Museum House, where they've preserved all the cultural, you know, how people used to live on the island, what they used to wear, the furniture, the appliances, things like that. So we stopped in there for them to have a little tour around.
Daddy, I'm sleepy. Hello.
Hey, little guy.
Or Calypso. Welcome, you can go right out. To build a home and to plant in the island coconut and cocoa for the chocolate. Okay, this is our typical hall, traditional hall. The dresses that they use at the time. Pictures as how the island looked before. We have our Baptist church.
And it was the funniest thing. We go in and my parents are getting dance lessons in the traditional dance style. Now that was something to see. And then next on the list, we took them to a place called Morgan's Cave, which of course is representative of Captain Morgan. So Captain Morgan, as you know, he roamed these waters for years and decades even, so he has a history at all the islands, including this one. And there were a series of caves over on the other side of the island. Yes, I know. That he used to keep all his booty in or hide the crew out in and stuff like that. And it was right close to the coastline, near the cove, where we anchor our boat sometimes, and of course the warships anchor there now. So of course that is where Morgan's Cave is, and we took my parents there for a visit, so they got to tour a little around and look inside the caves, and they enjoyed that, so that was cool. Next on our list was a bit of a nature tour, which you guys might remember our old friend Job Sass. He's a reggae musician on the island. He was the one playing there in one of our last videos when we were over at, what's it called? The Corral?
Boca del Mar.
Boca del Mar. But that was where Job Sass was playing, and he's a great musician. I've heard him several times and always loved hanging out with him.
And he lives in a president farm.
Well, he has a beautiful farm on the island called Paradise Farm. So we stopped in there because he does tours and shows people. He does a little bit of a nature walk, so we took them through there. Yes.
Respect, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How are you doing?
Yes, sir.
Hey.
Luisa, ¿te acuerdas de Job? Job te ha cantado desde pequeñito.
Everything cool?
Yeah, man, right here. How are you?
My wife.
Hola. ¿Qué más?
No, that's my dad.
Hi. Hi, the baby.
Hey, how are you?
Papa, how are you?
Nice to see you.
Yeah, good.
Job Sass is the last Rastaman, the last of the tradition of culture and of San Andres Island.
Yes, sir. This is my place. This is my farm. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
The land given by inheritance. You know.
Oh, so you make
Inheritance. See, this is the way how our foreparents do it all the time. You know, they give it. The land is by inheritance from generation to generation. You know.
How many generations have been?
But so sadly, many of them sell the land. That's why the place is overpopulated. You know, people sell the land. ¿Qué tal? Hey, ¿qué más? Acá guiarlos.
Oh, you made it.
He finished to eat, but I think so it's more interested is looking around than eating.
What's that?
Eh?
Hey, little guy. What's that?
He's not even a month old yet.
We use it. We use this like for let's say you get a cut, you know, with a machete. You get a cut. This is like a mertiolate, you know, the mertiolate, the red dressing, you know.
Oh, okay.
We put it on the cut and it heal it.
Better than aloe vera?
Red scalage. We call it red scalage. And you know the spider, right? The spider. This spider.
yeah.
It's a common spider from here. The Anansi spider. Anansi. He grow very big, very large. You know, like this.
Will he bite?
No, they don't. No. When they grow big, it's yellow. It's like yellow, beautiful.
We call those bananas.
Cocoa plum, we call this one. Cocoa plum is a fruit from here also, and it's on danger of extinction. The cocoa plum.
Oh, there's one up there. Look, Rick.
Yeah, it's a red fruit, you know. A red fruit. You see it? Yeah, we use it in stew. You know, we stew it in the syrup from the sugar cane. Coconut that fall, you know, they fall off the tree, so they grow here. When they begin to grow, I share it round and spread them round, you know. Put them to grow different around different places.
In the room, eh?
Yeah. And it will grow right there, you know.
Is that a coconut?
Yeah.
Oh,
They grow, yeah, they fall off the tree and they grow.
so that will just grow from there?
Yeah, right there you leave it and it grows.
Leave it and it grows.
Yeah.
Gets a root.
Yeah.
Wow.
Only Danny would try and fly in the jungle.
We need Brendan.
These mango trees.
Danny's looking for a way out now. I told him, don't go up. Up, no, don't go. The breadfruit.
They shot us some more days to get to the right.
Yeah, I discovered breadfruit in Jamaica about 30 years ago.
Yeah,
Wow, look them all over here.
like you see the
Well, the tree fell, but it's still growing.
yeah, the trees still going on.
So he's just saying this tree fell from the hurricane Iota last year. And it's still growing. Wow.
Is that lemons?
Yeah,
Lime.
bitter and sweet. Orange.
Where?
It's an orange. And they give a nice flavor. Give a excellent flavor, you know, not some that is very sour, but this one is sweet. Bitter and sweet. Huh?
Do these bite?
No.
Do the,
No,
this,
them is seed, they're like a seed.
this is like a seed on me?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a seed.
Oh, okay.
I'll let you turn around.
If we have here, I have one. I have one.
I think they really enjoyed that also, just learning some of the natural vegetation and what grows on the island and where. And that was cool. Yeah.
Big little boy.
It's very stuck.
You gonna take him in the cold breeze?
I take him outside. I don't have faith in this jeep.
Oh.
It's possible.
Luisa del Mar. Welcome to Benke Place, Rick Boy.
Oh yeah, I remember Benke.
You remember me?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was back here in April.
Yeah.
Riccardo Jr.
Riccardo Jr. Hey, take my body inside.
Ciao, Capitan!
Want to sit there also?
Ciao, Capitan! Ciao, Capitan! Ciao, Capitan!
Oh, look, he likes you. Look, the pinky is out.
Chop chop, I'm saying. Here we go.
Here we go.
With the amazing Sir Danny Ferrer,
Yes, sir.
doctorate of photography for the San Andreas Island.
Welcome to the beach. Ladies and gentlemen,
I get the center.
Benke Place with
You
the
want coconut water?
cool coconut water.
Cold coconut water?
Yes. Gracias.
Best coconut water in drinking in the island of
You want
San
coconut?
Next coconut water.
Coconut. You want to try the coconut? Water?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good.
Great.
Delicious.
And then the icing on the cake for my parents' trip. Sir Danny comes through again. I don't know how he managed to pull this off, but Danny does similar job to what I used to before COVID times, where we were always doing commercial video for tourism related properties, businesses, private islands, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, we probably have to cut that for copyright protection. But one of Danny's clients owns a really nice villa at the south side of the island, and Danny rented it for our parents, my parents and our friends Rick and Lisa. So he put this special last night on the island together for them. And
The magic view.
yeah, even I didn't know what was coming, but we ended up, it was the end of their day, 6 p.m. We stopped off at this villa. Danny brought them inside and he says, "This is yours for the night."
Yes.
Welcome to Danny World. Stage 2. Yeah, Danny's got a special gift for my parents at the end of our special tour around the island. And here it is. A private villa. Grande villa. Who's that? Ooh, swimming pool. Wow.
Hello. Welcome. Come in.
Well,
Enjoy my little Christmas tree.
wow, crazy.
Oh, for these lights. Did you tell the girl we're not coming back tonight?
Oh, I love the driftwood furniture. Check that out. That's cool.
We may get back tonight. If we didn't come back.
Yo escuchaba que estaba borracho.
Oh, you want to show us our room? Okay.
Mr. Jack.
Mr. Shaq.
Let's go, this is your room.
You ate it yesterday.
You see the room with the moon?
Oh, is this? Thank you. What a present.
And in the morning, it's sun here. Sunshine. Yes.
Sir Daniel has outdone himself.
Oh, damn.
Oh yeah, it was a very special Danny Day. I know my parents appreciate it a lot, and so thank you again, Sir Danny. You made my parents' day, and I'm sure it was one of the highlights of their trip. But as all good things must come to an end, even my parents had to return to Canada.
It's a time.
Happened to our family. We love you so much. Thank you.
Take good care, okay? Make a good travel.
Yeah, oh yes.
Thank you, sir.
We're off to see the wizard. The pleasure, Sir Danny.
Politics.
Sir Dan V. Terra. Politics. Time to say goodbye.
Alright, good to see you guys. Have a safe flight. You're staying in Miami tonight, right?
Finish.
Yeah, but don't turn your phone off again tonight.
Take care, okay? Take care of my mom, okay? Take care of my boy.
Okay, if you won't come back, okay.
And don't turn off your phone again now or you're grounded.
Yeah, well, I'll keep you posted, okay?
Miami, okay?
All right. Yeah. Love you.
Love you too, Mom. Glad you guys made it.
Cheerio for now.
Yeah, thanks for coming down.
Bye, Miss Mary.
Favorite taxi driver, Jimmy.
Don't make a crazy life in Miami, okay, this night?
Bye, Mr. Yak.
Okay?
All right, we'll let you know.
Glad to see you.
Phone
Glad to meet you.
open.
Nice to meet you. See you, Danny.
Bye, Miss Mary.
Ciao. And so ends another segment. On with the next chapter.
Yes.
Holy shit, this is hot. I gotta move. So we saw them off, and by this time, we'd been at the dock for a couple of months now, and we've been chomping at the bit to get back out to anchor. So as soon as we said goodbye to my parents, we pretty much got the boat ready, and we left the dock and just looking forward to a nice, calm, relaxing day back out to anchor, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
And what happened?
Thank you. Mira, amor. Ponla encima del drone si quieres. Agua. This is brand new or the old?
Well, it's the new old one.
Oh, bye-bye air condition, bye-bye. Say goodbye. This is the end of the air condition. Maddie, suffering of Maddie. No more air condition. Bye-bye.
Oh, you tried to unscrew it.
Capitan is real happy. Bye. The end. No more air condition, no more. Goodbye. Goodbye. Solar system. All solar system. You can walk. All solar system. Capitan loved that moment. Put the button. Bye-bye air condition. Maddie is going to suffering, feel the suffering.
Oh no, I think so. With the open window, this breeze I love. And I stay outside in the bow. I take my happy hour like before. Sit in my chair. Oh, I'm so happy. I jump in the sea.
In the water.
Here is no possible jump.
Yes.
Fly fish. Somebody's dead.
What are doing the fly fish here? I don't know what this fly fish is here. I don't know why.
Oh, you need this?
Brand new. Brand new.
We have some issue.
Oh my God, yeah. To say it was issue was some.
issue. It never is coming really perfect what you planning.
No.
Is
It's supposed to be this nice,
Yeah.
gentle breeze, you know, coming off the dock and letting, you know, casting off the dock lines and going out and just dropping the anchor and enjoying a nice day
no.
on our own.
No.
We get out there and of course it starts blowing, you know, 20, 25, not huge, but for what we encountered, it became a big, big problem because all of a sudden our anchor wouldn't work. We just tested at the dock because at the dock we have to have our anchor out in addition to the dock line. So we just brought it in, but we noticed there was something different. It was really struggling and it just come in very, very slow. We got it in.
Now it's low.
We got it in and, you know, got off of the dock and didn't think anything of it at the time. Figured, okay, we're gonna have to service that, but we just need to get the anchor down now. But as soon as we went out and put ourselves in position, pushing the button,
Doesn't work.
nothing. Pushing the button, I go up and I'm like, okay, well there's no power. And I go downstairs and the breaker blew. So that's a bad sign. So I strip the breaker back on. I go up and I push the button again. I push it to go down, click, breaker blows again. I'm like, oh no.
We are in a very big bad moment.
Yeah, it's a very bad moment. It's tense because there's other boats around us and we got a big breeze blowing us downwind and we couldn't get it to move. So I raced downstairs, I ripped open the battery compartment, I'm looking around, I can't find anything wrong. I just, you know, but the anchor will not go. Now we have a manual deploy on the anchor and that compounded our problem because we put the winch handle in to let it go, the clutch is seized. Because we haven't used it in so long, it's been years that it hasn't moved. And we tried to unlatch it and nothing. It just would not move at all. So I had to go back to the wheel and I'm putzing around the anchorage trying not to hit anybody while we just figure, well, what are we gonna do? We got our backup anchor, but even then, it's a very lightweight anchor and we have never really had call to use it. So Jeff was on board and he was giving me a hand and we went up and we got this secondary anchor out of the locker and tied the chain to it and threw it overboard, let it out, and it's on about, you know, 80 to 100 feet of chain, and then it's got a splice to go to line, and it's got this big, heavy 1-inch rope, like anchor line on it, that I've never actually used. It's been in the anchor locker since I owned the boat, which I've never really thought about. It's rope, it just sits there, it's never been in any sun, maybe a little salt water once in a while. But we got the anchor out, and we needed to get it past the chain so that we could tie the rope onto a cleat.
We made another bad discovery.
Well, we tied it onto the cleat and the first breeze, you know, we didn't even get a chance to try and set the anchor. As soon as we just dropped back on the wind, the piece of rope just went poof. Just disintegrated.
It's gone.
Like
the
a
ankle
1-inch
too,
rope.
it's gone. Bye bye ankle.
Oh yeah, everything. All the chain,
Everything.
everything just overboard, gone. So there goes our emergency secondary anchor in the water. What'd be happening, Mom?
Rescue at sea. Rescue an anchor.
So yes, yesterday we put back to anchor for the first time off the dock, which was awesome. But we had a problem with our windlass immediately. That wasn't much fun, prevented us from anchoring, so we dumped out our secondary anchor just as a backup until we could fix the primary windlass issue because it was overloading the circuits. So we did that, but as soon as we backed down on the primary anchor even a little bit, the rope snapped, just clean. Look at that. Of course, I haven't used this rope very often. It's been in here for a lot of years and I think I've used it twice. It's just a backup anchor and my primary's never failed. So, but now the secondary anchor is down there. So we are at anchor. And are we still over top? Yep, there's the other chain right there. You can see that 100-foot of chain right under us. Okay, so I'm gonna drop down this black line. This one, we ready? Got it. And down he goes. Good?
All right.
Did you get it or not yet?
I got it.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll bring up the slack a bit. Okay. All right, I'll just tie it off till you come up and then we'll start hoisting.
Okay.
What were you saying about not that heavy? I see you got to around the chain.
Yeah.
Okay, well, pour up some more. And the first one is still on deck and can't deploy. Now it's getting tense. I get back to the wheel right away again just to stabilize this again. Jeff breaks out some tools, you know, we got hammers, screwdrivers, everything, just trying to get this stupid windlass to work. And it won't budge. We couldn't free the clutch. We couldn't get the bolts are seized where, you know, we need to get the cup off the top of the windlass that guides the chain down, because with that bolted on, you can't release the chain from the windlass, so we can't pull it in manually or deploy it manually, anything. But anyway, luckily, while I was at the back just driving the boat, Jeff was able to take a couple of screwdrivers and jimmy the chain off one of the links of the windlass and got it free. So essentially, he just got it loose so that now the anchor is at least loose, not tight. And we got up there and managed to pull a bunch of chain out. And we realized, okay, we only got one shot at this, so we pulled 100 feet of chain out and just straddled it on deck. Now, unfortunately, of course, our hands were full. We didn't have time to record anything, nor were we thinking about recording anything, but it's just one of those adventures we never want to repeat, that's for sure.
No.
I got us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for these.
for this, I know.
Yeah, for these.
But the good news is we did get the boat back into position. We cast the anchor out by hand. We let the 100 feet out. And luckily, the Mantis 105 did its usual thing. It just hit the bottom and boom, immediately engaged. So it held us.
We were safe.
We were safe. Yeah, we put the snubber on, so we still had our engine running. We didn't have any issues with the engine, luckily. That was my other concern. Now, no anchors and an engine that overheats randomly and just gives us major issues, and we're drifting. And we got the boat, you know, the ship's graveyard behind us. It was very tense situation. But, you know, I hope we never go through that again. But it has brought about two issues: that we need to replace the windlass, because since we have taken it apart and realized there are problems with the motor, which I just replaced 4 or 5 years ago, those can probably be fixed. But in the course of all the time hauling the anchor, like this big Mantis 105 and, you know, some very heavy chain, over the course of many years has destroyed the main bearing in the windlass and the main shaft, because you could literally take the head of the windlass and just go so that's bad. It's creating a lot of excess wear and tear, and it's also creating a lot more drag for the motor, because the motor's fighting all of this increased friction. So luckily, we've been doing some research, and I want to send a special shout out to Lumar, because they have agreed to help us with a replacement. Very timely, I must admit.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes,
really.
thank you so much to Lumar and Lippert, and you know, we are looking forward to receiving this new windlass. We should have it in a few weeks, hopefully. So we're just trying to make do until then. We can't really do too much anchoring, re-anchoring until we get that problem resolved. Right, little buddy? Yeah, we don't need any more stress in our lives. But while we had all this chain on deck, we did realize we have another issue, and it dates back to the hurricanes. Do you remember the hurricanes? We went through back-to-back Category 5s in San Andres in 2020, and where our snubber was attached to the chain, we didn't realize it at the time. It wasn't, you know, very noticeable then, but it caused a lot of friction on those first 2 links. And they actually, I mean, it wore off instantly, all of the, what do you call it, the galvanizing on the chain. So they rapidly started to deteriorate. We kind of saw it a few months ago that there was a little bit of, you know, degradation in these 2 links. So we've been avoiding using those links, but now the other day we pulled those links out because we needed to put out some extra chain. And when we saw the links, they were like paper thin.
Yeah.
We're so lucky we didn't put those in the water, because it would have just broken very quickly. But
we never think it like this. We saw that really like you told before, then was the galvanized stuff is gone, but really we don't thinking and doing.
Ever since then, it's just rapidly degraded, just rusting away, and there's almost nothing left. So that is now our newest problem, our biggest issue. Yeah, this is something we're gonna have to deal with in the very near future now. We've still got, 100 feet of usable chain, but that means we can't let anything out if there's any big storms or anything coming, because it's right in the middle of our 200-foot chain, which pretty much makes the 200-foot length useless, and that's what we're gonna have to replace. So dealing with that now, because even a good chain like that is going to cost a couple $1,000s, and it's not something we had in our budget at the moment. We're dealing with all the engine stuff right now. So we'll update on all that in the near future as we try and figure out what to do, but it's just something new on our plate that we're having to sort through. But yeah, I think we're going to call it a wrap on that for today, because we need to get back to the boat because we had something special going on today, but we'll save that for another episode.
Oh yeah.
And I hope you guys are all well. I hope this has found you well and everybody's happy and enjoying your lives. It's been good for us. We've been spending time, as you can see, just the three of us. We do have some more catching up to do with you guys, but we'll do it fast and then we'll get up to real time because we are getting ready to travel again very soon. So more on that coming up. Have a great day, guys. Have a good week. Take care out there. And we'll see you next time. Ciao. Bye.
Yeah, it was very tiring. Something every day is growing more.
Good boy. He's a good boy. Good boy. Yes, boy.
Precious.
It'd be like us if we ended up in outer space.
What?
Another world or something, looking at it all.
It's another world, isn't it, Pumpkin? Yeah, welcome.